What's up, guys? My name's Stu, and today I'm going to be ranking every single space TFO in Star Trek Online. Okay, let's just jump right into this and get into the first TFO. These are all listed in alphabetical order. I did leave off a few TFOs, mainly some like the really old fleet-oriented ones, like Starbase Defense or whatever it's called, the Fleet Starbase Defense, or the Colony Invasion one. I left those off, but these are all like the more the mainline TFOs that you would expect to see in Star Trek Online. Though there are a few here on here that are not part of the random TFO list for one reason or another. We'll get to that as to why. But let's just get into it and start ranking these. We'll start off on a rather low note. Atmosphere Assault is a very ancient TFO that was released with sometime around Legacy of Romulus, and it focuses around shuttle combat, and no one likes shuttles. No one likes shuttles. I know there's like 3 of you who actually do really like shuttles, and you're weird. You know that, right? I'm gonna get yelled at for that in the comments probably, but yeah, Atmosphere Assault, that's no fun. It's old, ancient. It, even putting aside the fact that it's forces you into shuttles, not fun. Next up, Azure Nebula, and I'm gonna put this one in. Where do I want to put this one in? Because this isn't like a bad TFO. It's just kind of boring. I want to put this in because it's boring. You can just spend the whole time sitting there, one person on each rock, and just wait for the things to spawn. There's little motivation to do anything else. It needs a full rework, and I'm not cool with it. The Battle of Corfez. Corfez I actually really like. Corfez is a fun challenge. It's not a super short TFO. There's a variety of things to do. I kind of like the RNG aspect of it, of you don't know which phases you're going to get next, so it's a little unpredictable. But I would put this one in really fun if it weren't for one glaring issue, and that's that Corfez has been bugged for like 6 years at this point, because one of the phases that you can possibly get in either the second or third phase is the Teray phase. I don't know what the actual in-game name for that phase is called, but the phase where you have to like escort the Teray across the map and defend them from waves of incoming Vaadwaur. That one's been bugged for like 6 years because instead of the waves coming in gradually, every single wave spawns at once, and it's nearly impossible to defeat unless you have a very highly coordinated group of high-end players. And the fact that this TFO is still in the random TFO queues, you can get this just by doing random elites. That's ridiculous given how much of a huge bug they can possibly show up with this. So normally I would put this in really fun, but because of that, I'm knocking it down to it's okay. Procyon 5. This one, I've never liked the whole timeline change imminent mechanic thing, because it's like, okay, do this thing. Okay, now do it again, but it's a little harder. Okay, now do it again, but it's a little harder again. It's okay, but it's not one I feel fully engaged with. The Battle of the Binary Stars. This one I'll call fun. I do enjoy this TFO. It does have a few issues, like the mid-game cutscenes are kind of obnoxiously long, but I kind of get why, because they're trying to recreate a scene from the actual show. So they can only do so much wiggle room. Though another issue with this one is only going to show up on Elite, and that's the part where you have to rescue the escape pods. That part is insanely hard on Elite, because the warp core breaches from the birds of prey that try to steal the escape pods, they can potentially destroy those escape pods, and if you lose any of those escape pods, you just straight up fail. So I really wish they'd fine tune that one a little bit, make it a little bit more reasonable as a fail condition. But as it is on Elite, this one's really annoying. But in any other circumstance, Battle of the Binary Stars, I rather enjoy that one. Wolf 359, that's really fun. I really enjoy this one. I can't imagine it's at the top of everyone's list, but I really enjoyed the Battle of Wolf 359. It's got the nostalgia factor of being a classic scene from the Next Generation, and I do like the mechanics involved in it too. Best Served Cold. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played this one in a while, but I do remember enjoying it. Having to run between defending the bases and making sure that you've recaptured the escaping prison transports. I don't know, I've always found that one to be kind of fun. I'll put this in really fun. I do enjoy really liking this one, so I'm gonna keep up with that one. Borg Disconnected. Ugh, I really don't like this one. The stupidly huge time gates on this one, where it's literally just, okay, hold off these waves for 15 minutes. Okay, now do it again for another 15 minutes. I think 15 minutes is a bit of exaggeration. I think it's more like 5 or 6. But you get what I mean. It's just like a slog of, okay, do the thing. Okay, now do the thing again, but it's a little harder. That's not a fun mechanic, and I don't like it. So this is definitely one that is going in. Honestly, I'm a little tempted to put it in no fun at all, but it has its moments. But yeah, it's not going anywhere above that. Breach. This one kind of a classic at this point in Star Trek Online. You know, it's the classic Voth trench run in the giant Voth dreadnought city ship. Not the city ship. The city ship was the one in Voyager, which you see as like the dreadnought for the Voth. So you know that Voth ship. It's so big that it's basically more of an environment piece than a ship. But yeah, I enjoy this TFO. It's fun. It's engaging. You get to do the whole. It's very environmentally pleasing because you're like inside a Dyson sphere, inside of a giant Voth ship. I enjoy it. So fun. Poor Assault. This one, it's okay. I mean, this is one of the competitive reputation TFOs, so they don't pop up that often because they don't trigger in the random TFOs because they're technically like pseudo PvP. There's a competitive element between two different teams here. So that's why that's not part of the random TFOs. I do wish they would do something more with this one, like make a separate random queue for competitive TFOs like this. I feel like that would be a good way to sort of engage in a better way to sort of engage in this pseudo PvP element. That because I think there was always potential with these, and that they never expanded on it. And I just I'll put it in okay because I do enjoy these, but it's just I don't know, not enough players engage in this sort of content to make it fun. Counterpoint. This is a classic, defending Deep Space Nine, moving the assault teams from DS9 to Terok Nor while defending off the invading Terran forces. This one I do enjoy. We're gonna put that one in fun. I do miss the older version of Face the Wrath of we're taking too much damage. Those days are over, which is sad, but I do enjoy the current version of the game of the TFO as well. So yeah, I'll leave that one in fun. It's engaging enough for me to be like, okay, yeah, I'll play through this, but not so much so that I would put it in really fun, but it's definitely more fun than I would put in just kind of eh. Gear Found. This one is short, simple, straight to the point. I really like this one. I'm sure it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I actually really like this one. This is just a classic in my mind. I mean, maybe it's just because it's like really quick and easy, and I know how to do this one really easy on Elite. Maybe that's why I like it. That's probably going to be a theme with a lot of these older Borg TFOs, but yeah, I like this one. So that's going in really fun. Days of Doom. I really don't like this one. Days of Doom, I think, is one of the most boring TFOs in the game. The whole mechanic of having to go back and forth between picking up the warp cores, taking it to the Doomsday Machine to slow it down, really boring. And it's also irrelevant because if you have a high enough control rating, you can absolutely just slow down the Doomsday Machine on your own with your own abilities like Gravity Well. So if you're on like a full-fledged control build, you don't even need to bother with the warp cores, which is fine because the warp cores are boring and they're really annoying too because they don't always drop correctly. So sometimes they'll just bug out. So you're like you'll have found that your time has just been wasted because it didn't drop. It just vanished for some stupid reason. So it's dumb, probably buggy because of what I just mentioned, and it's boring. And then you have to have the whole factor of having to have someone go defend the starbase, which can always be a really big pain in the butt to do on on randoms, because then you got to figure out, okay, who's going to defend the thing, who's going to move the things, because then you have to either deal with no one wants to go defend it or everyone wants to go defend the starbase because they don't want to bother moving the warp cores. And then if everyone's defending the starbase, then you don't have enough people slowing down the Doomsday Machine. Then you end up failing the stupid thing, and that's even more frustrating. So this was difficult to coordinate because getting pugs to listen in Star Trek Online is just an impossible feat that you'll never manage to do. Next up, Starbase 1. This one I really like. I know Star Trek Online has said in the past that this is, quote, a fan favorite TFO. In fact, that's why a certain other TFO exists that we'll get to later. I don't think they realize that this one is played so often because it's so easy to exploit. I don't know if that's still the case. I haven't heard of anyone doing that in a while, but I think it's just kind of like a known fact that this was very easily exploitable. So you can just easily AFK this one, which is why this one became a quote unquote fan favorite, because it was easy free marks. I don't know if that's still the case. I would be amazed if they fixed that though, but if they did fix it, I really hope so. But yeah, Beyond that, though, if you're playing it properly, though, I do really enjoy this. It's just, constant run and gun. You're constantly shooting things are constantly exploding. On that merit, this is actually a fun TFO. It's just, it's not super engaging. There's no like super interesting mechanics in there. It's just kind of like, okay, run around the map and blow things up. But it's in a satisfying enough manner that I do enjoy this one. It's a shame that it's so easily exploitable. Draenor Gauntlet. I have mixed feelings about this one, and largely because of the RNG element. You never know what enemies you're going to be facing against this one, which can make it kind of interesting, but can also make it significantly easier or harder depending on what's going to be spawning in. I'll give this one the benefit of the doubt and go with fun. Because it does vary things up a little bit. You do have to do some coordinating. You gotta spread out a little bit. But I don't know. There's something about this one. I do enjoy it. So maybe I'm being a little hypocritical by putting this one so high and maybe knocking down like Procyon 5 to it's okay. But you know what? I'm sticking to my guns on that one. It's fun. I like it. Gateway to Greythor. This one we'll go okay. And even then, I feel like I'm being generous on that one. Greythor is kind of boring. No, I'm knocking this one to because the whole gateway mechanic is just absolutely meaningless. Particularly the spawn gateways. I mean, there was a long time a lot of the higher end players would get really annoyed about part of this mechanic is because as you close the spawning, as you close the spawn gateways, that actually increases the spawn rate of the Iconian ships, which is why we always went by the mantra of never close the spawn ships. I mean, now it's just like builds have gotten, the power creep's gotten so crazy, builds are so overpowered these days. Now it's just like I just close them anyway, just because otherwise I'm just bored. I'm sitting there not doing anything. That's the whole problem with this TFO. It doesn't keep me engaged enough to give a crap about it, because even with the scaling spawn rate by closing the spawn portals, again, it's just, it doesn't make that much of a difference compared to the modern state of the game. So I was like, why do I care if more Iconians spawn in? I'm still going to blow them up. And the other issue with this one is that I hate TFOs that divide the team up unevenly, because there are only 2 lanes, but you can only have 5 players on a team. So you're going to have 3 on one and 2 on the other constantly. And I hate that uneven division. And there are other TFOs that will do that too. And it's like, it's something that's always bugged my brain. I've never really liked that. So yeah, Greythor going in Speaking of Gravity Kills. Gravity Kills is a classic frustrating TFO. Honestly, I'm sure some of you are yelling me, no, this should be a no fun at all. And I get that, but really the thing with Gravity Kills is that it takes forever. And it only takes forever is because no one's moving the freaking particles. Everyone wants to focus on killing the Zenkethi. People get so easily distracted by killing the Zenkethi, no one ends up moving the portals. And that's what makes this one frustrating. That and the gravity well itself. Going into this one with a really big, bulky ship can be really difficult. Anytime I end up in this one, I always make sure to swap out into a smaller, more nimble ship. Mainly like a pilot ship, something with pilot seating, or something with pilot maneuvers can be really helpful in escaping the gravity well if you get too low. Another helpful tip with this one is putting on tractor repulsors on this one. That's a really good way to ease up the fight against the Zenkethi, so you don't have to clear out those mobs. You can just push them into the gravity well and makes things a lot easier. So if you have the chance, try swapping out something in your science seating for tractor repulsors. It does make this one a bit easier. Guillotine. This one I really liked. This was I don't know. I remember when this one came out, and I was really surprised how fun I found it to be. It's a little similar to Counterpoint in that you have to destroy a bunch of stuff at the center of the map, and then you have to spread out and go do all the things surrounding the edge of the map. In this case, it's you got to turn on the probes or whatever while defending them, making sure they can do their thing, and then go back to the center and kill a bunch of stuff that spawns in. I like this one. It's fun, and I enjoy it. I don't really have much else to say about it. Is that it engages all the parts of my brain that say this is fun. Herald Sphere. This one I actually do like. I want to put this one in fun as well. It's a bit dated. There are some things that I feel like could be touched up on this one. This is one of those that was released around. It was a bit after Delta Rising. No, it was definitely after Delta Rising because it was Iconians. I don't remember when exactly this one was introduced, but yeah, this one I find to be fun. I don't know. I just like it. It's just there's a lot of running around, there's a lot of map changes, there's a lot of stuff going on around here, and that's one of the reasons why I like it. There's enough variety here to keep me like, okay, this is fun. The reason it's not really fun though is because the boss fight is way too easy. It is so easy to, kill that last Iconium boss like super crazy fast. It's rare when I will say you need to make this harder, but you need to make that last boss fight harder for this one to be more fun. Hive Onslaught. This is another short-ish Borg TFO. I like this one. You just kind of fly out into this big Borg fleet. You can either fly out into the center of it and probably get killed, or you can kind of play it more carefully and just kind of stay on the outside and work your way into the Borg forces. It's fun. I enjoy it. There's a lot of stuff to, there's lots of explosions. This is another one that's really great for like testing your like really high end builds. My one gripe about it though is feedback pulse. Feedback pulse on an energy weapon build is the bane of my existence, and the Borg Queen's super overpowered feedback pulse 4, I hate that. It's the only reason why this isn't going in really fun, and honestly, almost makes me want to put it in It's Okay, but it's like the last boss fight, and it only affects one build type, but it affects my favorite build type, so that's why I'm like, about it, but we'll leave it in fun for now. Infected the Conduit. Obviously, that is going in really fun. That is S tier. That is the classic TFO, and I will hear nothing that says otherwise. That's going up there, and it's staying up there. Leave me alone. Can you tell I've been awake for a while, and I'm a little grouchy, and also that my AC stopped working, so I'm tired, I'm hot, so I probably shouldn't be recording, but I really need to record something. So yeah, have fun with broken AC era stew, because it's not going to be fun for any of us, trust me. Iupiter Iratus. This one we'll put in fun. Waves of enemies spawning in to attack Jupiter Station. They try to hack the station as well as the surrounding satellites. This is another one where it does kind of bug me, where it kind of forces the team to kind of separate unevenly, but it's well enough that you can, it's not that huge of a deal on this one, I think. So yeah, Iupiter Iratus, I like this one, so it's going in fun. Khitomer Vortex. This is another classic Borg TFO that's definitely going up in the really fun category. I really like this one. It's honestly, I would probably say I like this one more than I do Infected, just because it's that much more engaging. You gotta attack two of the bases. You gotta attack two of the gateways instead of the one. You also have the added mechanic of having to make sure that not too many of the Borg ships make it through the temporal vortex, and then you also gotta fight the Scimitar at the end, or the assimilated Scimitar at the end, which for some reason is called the Valdor, which makes no sense that the Valdor would turn from a Mogai class to a Scimitar class, but I don't know why we've never questioned that before. But yeah, beyond that, this is a fun TFO, and I like it, and it's going in really fun. Kobayashi Maru. Now, this is the current Kobayashi Maru, which shows up as an event sometime. It's not available in the random TFOs, but you can still queue for it whenever you want. I'll put this one in It's Okay. It's always got the weird added elements of the Kobayashi Maru running around being an idiot, and it really detracts from the fun of this one. It makes me long for the classic Kobayashi Maru, where it was just more straightforward. It made more sense logically, whereas with this one, it's set up to be more of like a competitive test, whereas the other one was more like a more faithful recreation of the classic Kobayashi Maru scenario. And this one, yeah, like I said, the Kobayashi Maru, it's okay, but I miss the old one. Leviathan, a more recent TFO, but this one I do really like. That one's really fun. It's kind of difficult, but that's kind of why I like it at the same time. You got to run down Seeker, or the Mirror Universe version of V'ger, and you got to attack the Terrans that are defending it, as well as attacking portions of Seeker itself from it to prevent it from launching whatever those plasma bolt things are. So you kind of it's just disabling V'ger, attacking the Terrans, and it's a good time. I like this one. Next is Operation Riposte, or Riposte. I forget how you actually pronounce it. They call it Operation Riposte in the actual game, and I don't think that's correct how you pronounce that. But yeah, it's okay. The main frustration I have with this one is the part where you have to move disable the Klingon transports and then move them over to the Federation fleet. That part gets tedious, and on Elite is actually really difficult, because if you accidentally destroy the transports, which is easier than it really should be, if you actually destroy those, then you just fail the TFO. And because like you're supposed to like defend them from the Klingon attacks, but it is very possible to accidentally kill them with your own build, especially if you're using something like Gravity Well or anything else with like powerful AoEs. So that can be really frustrating, which is why this is going in. It's okay. Peril over Pavo. Now, this one is a sort of a unique case. This is one of the few TFOs that is actually meant to be a remake of an older TFO. In this case, this is meant to be sort of a reimagined version of Draenor Gauntlet. It's pretty much the same setup, but it has unique enemies. Whereas with Draenor Gauntlet, you get a vast variety of different random enemies. With Peril over Pavo, you can either get the Discovery era Terran Empire, or you can get the House Mokai Klingons. And the fact that it has a 50% chance to give you the House Mokai Klingons, which have one of my least favorite abilities in the game to be on the receiving end of Viral Impulse Burst. This one is getting an ugh, because I hate fighting the Mokai. So we're putting that one in ugh, because one lacks imagination. It's just a remake of another existing TFO, and you get a 50% chance of fighting one of my least favorite enemies in the game. So yeah, going in ugh. Resistance of Starbase 1. This is another one that is a remake of an existing TFO. This one is basically a Borg version of the Defense of Starbase 1. Oh, which I should note on with Defense of Starbase 1, yes, you do fight the Mokai Klingons in that one, but they're the Mokai Klingons as they were in the 23rd century, so they don't have Viral Impulse Burst, which is why I like Defense of Starbase 1, but I hate Operation Riposte, because Viral Impulse Burst, it's bad for my heart. I feel like every time it does, my blood pressure raises, and I feel like I need to see a cardiologist after I am on the receiving end of that, because I hate it so much. Anyway, Resistance of Starbase 1. I like this one. It's not super different from Defense of Starbase 1, but the added mechanics of the Mirror Borg do kind of make it change up a little bit, because you got to watch out for things like how those Mirror Borg spheres can like self-destruct and cause like a really big, massive AoE to you and anything surrounding it. So yeah, that can be a little hazardous, but changes things up a little different. It also actually gives you an actual boss battle, whereas the Defense of Starbase 1, you just wipe out the waves of Klingons and then you're done with it. Resistance of Starbase 1 actually adds a boss battle against a Borg cube. I'll keep this one in fun. I do kind of want to knock off points because I don't like rewarding the idea of reimagined TFOs like this, but I do still like this one. Imperial Romulan Minefield. This one is effectively the starter TFO. This is meant to be, this is the one that you get access to like fairly early on in your leveling experience, that you gain access to. You can queue for it with other players, whether they are low level or not. It'll automatically bump you up to like level 50, I think. It's like 50 or 55, because it's only an easy level TFO. That's one of the reasons why I'm like kind of about this one too, though, is because it doesn't have an advanced or elite version. I really wish it did, because it would be nice to be able to play an end game version of this one. So I'll put this one in it's okay, just due to the fact that like it's not bad, it's just there's no reason to play this one as you get further into the end game, because there's no harder version of it. It's meant to be the starter TFO, which is fine for that, but I don't know, I wish there was more use for this one in the later state of the game. Royal Flush. This one is just all over the place. You're fighting a bunch of Borg in fluidic space, and I actually really like this one. I'm going to put this one in fun. I like it. It's engaging enough that I'm like, oh, this is fun. It's a little, like, the map is huge, which I think can be kind of annoying. You're spending a lot of time just traveling between point to point instead of actually fighting stuff, which can be a little obnoxious, but at the same time, some people like that. And honestly, I go kind of back and forth on it too. So yeah, I'll leave it in fun, but it's not quite enough to go into really fun. Storming the Spire. This one is definitely ugh. Honestly, even looking at it objectively, it still surprises me that I don't like this one, but it's because the hard time lock, that's the really downside of this one. It's just like, it's go defend from the Voth for however long the timer is, and then that's it. It's just do this thing for 15 minutes. Your build makes no difference. There's nothing to lower that time. There's no sense of like, oh, I've improved because, we got through this faster. It's just a hard timer, and that's no fun. I hate that, and it's going, ugh. You'll probably notice that as a pattern on this list. Hard time locks, they're a huge pet peeve for me. I hate that as a gameplay mechanic. It's no fun at all. It eliminates any sense of like progress for your growth as a character or for your build. You're not given any sense of like reward for like further investing into your build. It's just like, all right, you still got to spend this amount of time doing the exact same thing. So yeah, it's not a fun mechanic, and I'm glad they've done away with it more in the modern state of the game. They don't do that nearly as much, or they like use it much more loosely. But yeah, hard time locks, they're not fun. Next up is the Swarm. Now this one is sort of like soft time locks because you still have to wait for the transports to move, but that's still better. That's still a better mechanic than just watching a timer tick down. I'd rather, because it gives a little bit more of a sense of immersion that you're not just like watching some arbitrary timer tick down. You're actually watching these ships try to escape an enemy fleet. But so for that one, I'll move this one up to it's okay. I do wish there was more variety in the enemies that you fight, because it's literally just like a bunch of swarmers, some of the larger, like I forget what they're called, the larger Herc ships that can spawn more of these, and then there's like one dreadnought. I wish they would put in more dreadnought fights into this one, just to make it a little bit more difficult, a little bit more engaging, because it's not like that dreadnought is a difficult fight in Swarm. So I feel like, as much as crazy as might be to say, I feel like making this one a bit more difficult by adding in more dreadnought spawns would make this one a lot more engaging. To hell with honor. This one is just awesome. That is definitely going in really fun. You're flying around like an asteroid, destroying these Klingon shipyards, and then some Alachi show up. You can actually see like the Alachi walkers walking on the surface of the moon, and you're destroying them in your spaceship. That is so much fun. I love this TFO. This is definitely going in really fun. Next up is Twin Tribulations. This is another one of the competitive reputation TFOs, kind of like Core Assault. And just like with Core Assault, we'll put it in it's okay. I actually do find this one to be fun. The different mechanics used in this one, I feel like, are engaging and interesting. Just the downside is that you really do need to be coordinated in a team, and and again, this is Star Trek Online. You try to tell pugs what to do. It is a very it's very up in the air whether or not they will actually listen to you. Zenkethi Front. This is another one I think is kind of fun. I do like the mechanic of having to take the bombs from the Zenkethi ships and then plant them onto the Zenkethi bases themselves. I do like that sort of layout. It's fun for me, at least. I think the big thing that prevents people from liking this one more is just how... I think the thing that keeps people from liking this one more is just how tanky the Zenkethi are. They're not easy to kill for a lot of casual players, because a lot of players don't know like the odd mechanics of the Zenkethi. You got to shoot them from the front. Just shoot them from the front. If you're using a lower end build, don't use gravity well on them. And for the love of God, this is the most important part. Kill the cruisers first, because they're the ones that put that invulnerability shield onto other units. So kill the cruiser first. Don't use gravity well if you're using a low end build, and aim for the front and not the back, because their forward shields are weaker than their aft shields for some reason. But yeah, beyond that, Zenkethi Front, I like it. I'm gonna put it in fun, and I don't care what anyone else says, because I actually kind of like this one. Undine Assault. This one, I'm probably gonna get some crap for too, but I actually like this one. I'm gonna put it in fun as well. Now, this does have a caveat that will probably make me want to put it in it's okay by the end of the statement, but it needs to be updated. The graphics on this one have been bugged out for ages. Like the transparent gas clouds that are between the lanes, they're supposed to be transparent, but they've been bugged for years so that they're not transparent. So you can't really see where the gateways for the optional objective spawn. So that can be really frustrating. But the core mechanics of this, of having to fight off just like go down the lanes and fight off the individual the waves of Undine, and then close the singularity cores and then kill the planet core. I do like that, but there's just I don't know. It's just, I think part of it's just because it's so dated. I feel like, if they went and did like another pass on this one, I feel like this one could be made into a really fun type of TFO. It's just, as it is, it's lost a lot of its luster, in my opinion. And just thinking about it makes me want to just put it down into it's okay, just like I predicted I would. So yeah, yeah, we'll put it in it's okay. I feel like there's some potential here that I really wish they would look at, but yeah, I don't see it happening because that's old content. Also, for some reason, there's no elite level version of this TFO. I don't know why there's no elite level version of this TFO. I feel like there really should be, but there isn't for some reason. Most of these all do have elite level versions, except for the ones that don't really need one. Like Kobayashi Maru doesn't need one. Imperial Minefield, I wish did have advanced and elite versions, but given that this is just the starter version the starter TFO, I can see why it didn't need one. And then Atmosphere Assault, that one's just, that's a lost cause. Speaking of lost causes, Vault and Snare. Oh my god, I hate this TFO. The incredibly long time gaps between phases because they insist on you sitting through another briefing of, okay, this is how it works, despite the fact this is such an easy TFO. It's just the fact that they separate it so far apart from each other that I feel like I need to get up and like go make a sandwich or take a nap or something between the phases. This is such a slog that takes so much longer than it needs to be. And then the whole phase of like keeping keeping the Tholian ships from building up the web, not that fun either, because you're just flying in circles and destroying Tholian ships. It's not fun. I hate it. It's not fun at all. And the additional time gaps make it even worse, which is why it is in the lowest of low. And again, we're gonna be sticking out a theme here. Vault shuttle event. I don't even know why this one is still in the queue system, because it says it's for an event, but it's not part of any events because everyone hates shuttle content. Rightfully so. Shuttle content is no fun. It's just space combat light. Do something else. I don't like it. But yeah, this one also going in no fun at all because it's not. And lastly, Viscous Cycle. This one put an okay. I do kind of like this one. It's rather straightforward. It's a little I don't know. It does enough to keep me like engaged, but not enough to be like, all right, this is fun, let's do it again. It's mostly just like, all right, that was all right, let's move on to something else. So I don't begrudge this one, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, that is a TFO that exists. So yeah, that is my tier list for the space TFOs in Star Trek Online. Let's make this a little smaller so you can see it all on one screen. There we go. I'm pretty happy with this, with how these are laid out. I don't know if I would move any of these around all that much. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with these as they are. I really wish I could move Battle of Corfez into really fun, but it's just with how broken that bug makes this TFO, I really can't put it any higher until that gets fixed. If that bug ever does get fixed, I will happily put this in the very fun category. But until then, we're going to put it in it's okay, because you have such a big chance of being thrown into this incredibly difficult obstacle that shouldn't be there. But yeah, I think I'm happy with this outcome here. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and while you're down there, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. If you'd like to further support the channel, hit the, I think it's subscribe plus now, or whatever YouTube renamed the join button for channel members. Hit that to become a channel member and gain additional channel perks. Or you can also check out the merch store down below, or any of the affiliate links in the pinned comment. If you're ever shopping on the Epic Game Store, be sure to use my content creator code STU1701. Any of these really help me out, and I really do appreciate it. Either way, though, thank you so much for watching. My name's Stu, and I will see you guys next time.